Aloha and thank you for watching This Is Now. We have an update to pass along to you, new at noon. This is new video just into the digital center. Less than 2 hours after special access placards were supposed to start being handed out to West Maui residents, workers, and emergency personnel, Maui police have suspended the program. Officials say the decision was made because of an overwhelming demand from non-essential individuals and non-Maui residents who have flooded the distribution area. Now, the placards were supposed to be required for entrance into West Maui starting tomorrow. MPD says it will continue allowing access to essential workers and West Maui residents as before. Now, we have a crew gathering more information and reaction to this story. We'll bring you any updates on air and online as we get them.
And meanwhile, the death toll has grown to 96, which surpasses the casualty count of the 2018 Camp Fire in California. That left 85 people dead and destroyed the town of Paradise.
Now, the vast majority of the victims of Maui have not been identified. People with missing family members have been asked to go to the Family Assistance Center for a DNA swab. That's located at the Kahului Community Center. The death toll is likely to rise. We did not get an update today yet on that. And at last report, only 3% of the rubble had been searched. Now, so far, no definitive word on the number of injuries. President Biden said he's considering coming to Hawaii, but that would likely happen once the fires are extinguished and the search for victims has finished. Meanwhile, a special canine task force is on Maui from Los Angeles to search the destruction, trying to find any victims and possible survivors. Now, FEMA activated the California Task Force Team 2 Urban Search and Rescue Canine Team for this, sending 3 canines, their handler, and 2 LA Fire paramedics. Now, it's a difficult task even for these well-trained crews, but they say they're ready to do the job.
We want to get to work. We want to see how many people we can help out there, bring closer to those family members. And with the support of these dogs, hopefully nobody gets injured. And we just try to do the best we can.
It's a lot of responsibility. It means a lot. I've met people impacted by this already.
Now, the dogs are trained both to help find live victims and those who weren't able to make it. The canines and 2 other teams will be out in Maui for at least 2 weeks.
And joining us now is our Allison Blair. Allison, I believe you just got off a call with the latest update from FEMA. What can you tell us there?
That's right, Dylan. One of the biggest takeaways from that phone call is that the federal government is still classifying this disaster as a search and rescue operation. This is how they explained it. Yes, hundreds of people are still unaccounted for. However, they believe issues with communication may still be prohibiting some of those people from connecting with their families. The Red Cross is assisting in reunification efforts. A spokesperson said the agency received more than 2,500 calls into their call centers from people looking for their loved ones. We're told about 800 of those cases have since been resolved. The other big takeaway, survivors. If you haven't already, sign up for FEMA assistance. I'm told about 3,000 people are registered so far. There are programs that are up and running right now that can help with immediate basic needs. One is called the Critical Needs Assistance. This is how it was explained.
The CNA program is designed so survivors can apply for a one-time $700 payment, and this money can be used for any critical needs: food, water, medical supplies, infant formula, diapers, or other consumables that might be needed to help them bring about some semblance of stability during this difficult time.
Now, the other program is called the Transitional Shelter Assistance Program. It enables survivors to stay in pre-identified hotels and motels for a limited amount of time as government works to develop a housing plan. FEMA pays for those hotel rooms, so there's no out-of-pocket expense for survivors. Again, both of the programs available right now, but the first step is that you need to apply for assistance, and there are 3 ways to do that. 1, you can apply on the FEMA app. You can also go online and apply at disasterassistance.gov or by calling the number that you see there on your screen. It's 1-800-621-3362. Back to you guys.
All right. Thank you so much, Ali, for that update from FEMA. Meanwhile, FEMA's administrator, Deanne Criswell, who visited Maui last week, she participated in a White House briefing this afternoon. Here's some of what she had to say.
Earlier today, there was also a press briefing at the White House in which FEMA officials and White House officials weighed in on their latest efforts to address the Maui wildfire disaster. Take a listen.
As residents continue to mourn the loss of their friends, their loved ones, their neighbors, the loss of their homes and their way of life, we know and let them know that we are mourning with them. Nothing can prepare you for what I saw during my time here, and nothing can prepare them for the emotional toll of the impact that this severe event has taken on them.
There have been questions as to why Maui's emergency warning sirens were not activated. Officials have not been able to provide a full response as they focus on the active firefight and recovery efforts. But they say the order would need to come from the crews on the ground, and firefighters may have been overwhelmed battling wind-whipped flames. Officials also point out that emergency notices were issued over broadcast channels and cell phones.
I've authorized a comprehensive review of what happened in the early hours of the fire and the hours thereafter. As of now, the best information we have is that in those hours when the fire sparked, there were several fires across Maui. One fire was deemed to be out. It must not have been completely extinguished because when the winds rose up, winds gusting as high as 81 miles per hour, fire spread rapidly. We believe between 60 miles per hour and 81 miles per hour across that part of the island. And that meant that fire traveled 1 mile every minute, resulting in this tragedy. With those kind of winds and 1,000-degree temperatures, ultimately all the pictures that you will see will be easy to understand, because that level of destruction in a fire hurricane, something new to us in this age of global warming, was the ultimate reason that so many people perished.
On Friday, Hawaii's Attorney General launched an investigation that will examine the policies and key decisions that influenced Maui's emergency response. The Lahaina fire is still burning. At last check, it was 85% contained. What sparked the fire has not been determined.
The water is not safe to use in parts of Maui. The county has released a map showing which areas are affected. People in West Maui, makai of the Lahaina bypass from Kaniao Road south to Puakukui Place are being advised not to use the water. The water advisory also includes Upper Kula. Residents shouldn't drink it even if it's boiled. Bottled water should be used for drinking, for brushing your teeth, ice making, and other food preparation until further notice. Officials say at this point, residents are unable to treat the water in any way to make it safe.
Public schools in upcountry, South and Central Maui will reopen for students on Wednesday. The Department of Education confirms King Kamehameha III Elementary on Front Street has been destroyed. King Kekaulike High, Princess Nahi'ena Elementary, Lahaina Intermediate, and Lahaina Luna High remain closed and will reopen when it is safe for staff and students to return. And the DOE encourages parents to enroll children at their nearest public school, even if residents are in temporary housing. School officials also say they are setting up a phone line to answer questions from staff and families. Meanwhile, all Kamehameha schools on Maui will remain closed to students until at least Wednesday as well.
The most recent damage assessment is estimated at $5.6 billion there on Maui. In Lahaina, more than 2,200 structures have been damaged or destroyed. 86% total were residential. Authorities say the fire was burning hot and spreading fast.
It was a very fast-moving fire. It was a low-to-the-ground fire. It was grass-fed by all evidence that we could observe today, moving at a horizontal nature, low to the ground, and structure to structure. Incredibly fast, that outpaced anything the firefighters could have done in the early hours.
And happening today, there are two press conferences that Hawaii News Now will stream online. Lieutenant Governor Sylvia Luke is holding a press conference at 2 p.m. with government and community leaders to announce their plan to get donations to those immediately impacted by the Maui fires. They will provide the latest on donation intake and deployment. And at 3:30 p.m., Governor Josh Green, Maui County Mayor Richard Bisson, and other agencies will provide updates on the wildfire response overall. Hawaii News Now will air that press conference on our stations as well as online on our digital platforms.
Meanwhile, another destructive blaze continues to burn in upcountry Maui. At last check, officials say the fire is 60% contained and has scorched about 700 acres. Our Chelsea Davis has more on the firefight in Kula.
Firefighting efforts have continued all day long up here in Kula, Maui, where a community is mourning as well. They're mourning for their loved ones out in West Maui, and they're mourning for their own community too. County officials tell me a total of 19 homes up here have burned. For example, this is Sweetheart Mori's garage, and although the fire ripped through everything and destroyed everything she owns, she tells me she feels fortunate.
The fire came from in the back and just burned all the way down to my daughter's cottage. And sorry, I'm gonna get emotional.
Sweetheart says the winds were whipping that Tuesday around 5 p.m. And she took this video of the fire below her home just before 9:30. That's when they evacuated.
My daughter opened the door, the wind just took the door and her window shattered.
3 homes were destroyed in Olinda and 16 homes were leveled in Kula. The fire remains active. Nearly 700 acres have burned so far. Sweetheart says the firefighters gave it their all.
They work hard, and they're trying to save lives too, and their homes probably burned up themselves, but yet they're out helping other people.
She said her home was a gathering place filled with lots of memories. She even had a special wall dedicated to see all the children's growth. The wall's not there anymore, but the memories are. And although she doesn't have much at all, she says she has everything she needs.
I feel hila. It's shame, for ask. Even if you just down to one pair of pants, get washer.
If you would like to help the Mori Ohana rebuild, we'll be posting a link on how to help them on hawaiinewsnow.com. Reporting in Kula, Chelsea Davis, Hawaii News Now.
Meanwhile, the Hawaii Tourism Authority is urging visitors to reschedule upcoming travel to fire-ravaged West Maui. The agency says visitors have largely heeded the call to leave the island. Since Wednesday, more than 46,000 people have flown out of Kahului Airport. HTA says visitors who are planning to travel to West Maui within the next several months should reschedule their travel plans or consider a different destination. The agency added hotels in West Maui have temporarily stopped accepting bookings. And the governor has said about 1,000 rooms in the area have been secured for evacuees and first responders. It was not immediately clear when evacuees would be moving in. One of Maui's most notable residents, Oprah Winfrey, has spent the past several days providing comfort and support to those in the evacuation shelters. Now, our CBS affiliate Tony DeCopel was there on the ground and spoke with Oprah, who amplified the voices and the stories of those impacted.
We find her at the entrance of the biggest evacuee shelter in Maui County, still home to 1,000 people 5 days after the fires, and where Oprah has been quietly visiting survivors. She wants us to hear some of the stories she's been hearing. And since cameras aren't allowed inside, we find a spot to talk just outside the fence.
If we were inside, what would we see?
You would see people lined up, cots right next to each other. You would see people with all of their worldly possessions in, like a small garbage bag.
She introduced us first to Kanani Adolfo, who, despite losing some of her own family, has been a volunteer here from the very first night.
I'm just a volunteer. I'm a nobody. I'm just part of the public. This is my county. I'm born and raised here.
You're a big somebody, girl. Don't say that.
I'm never leaving.
What do the families need now most?
For me today, every day is different. I'm
every day is
talking
different.
To my heart. The mental health is, for me, the children, the kupuna, the families, everything they've seen, everything they've gone through. The mental health is is for me today is my focus.
Maintaining strength in the face of so much loss.
She is one of many heroes and heroines, one of many. But this is who we are. She represents who we are in this community.
Thank you for your work.
Next, Oprah returned with 2 sisters, both feeling lucky to be alive.
6 hours in the water. We jumped to the ocean because we trapped.
They have 9 family members in all inside the shelter. And yet,
this is what I don't understand. Every time I've seen you and your family, your spirits are still so high. You all seem, you seem so okay, even on this now, the 5th day. What's happening?
You know, our life is the blessings. That's all we're thankful for.
Yeah.
Yeah. We, it's so sad. No more memories. Everything we left. Only in the heart. It's all that we bring in.
And finally, Julius.
What happened here?
He says he heard his skin popping in the heat as he ran.
At that moment, while I'm running, because I cannot see anything, it's all black. I thought I'm gonna die.
He started praying and then an opening.
You ran,
And this,
you prayed, and you made it.
and then right, I go to the harbor. Right, I see those 2 ladies, old ladies. The old ladies cannot walk anymore. And they're crying because he cannot carry her. So what I can do, I carry her on my back.
At the waterline, he eased himself into the waves. Another survivor of Lahaina. Though for him, and for so many here, the memories are still fresh.
You're so good. You're
It
good.
seems like you don't realize it yet, but you're here.
You're good.
You've made it through.
And with courage and community like that, Maui will make it too.
You see entire families who've lost every single thing they have, and they're living on the air mattress and a cot and a chair, and they're still just grateful to have each other. So it's really, the aloha spirit is about community and about family, and we've seen this here in ways that, most people never get to imagine what that really looks like.
Tony DeCopel, CBS News.
And we want to go ahead and show you now the QR code if you want to take a second. If you're watching on a mobile device, screenshot this. If you're watching on television, scan this with your phone's camera. This will take you to the Hawaii News Now landing page for the latest stories on all things related to the Maui wildfires. You have a lot of content there for where to direct your donations, the latest on FEMA and disaster response, the latest on the placard distribution. Everything you need to know is right there on our Hawaii News Now mobile app, website, and all our digital platforms.
Just incredible stories coming out of Maui every day. That man's story. I mean, you can't even, you don't even think that can happen here in Hawaii.
Definitely.
And it's crazy.
And again, I've also loved seeing the community come together. That has been the one silver lining of this, is whenever there's something bad in Hawaii, people band together to show that aloha, especially for our neighbors there over on Maui. So we are continuing to meet these people firsthand. Our crews there on the ground on Maui are doing some amazing work out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and take a live look now over Aloha Tower. As you can see, a cargo ship is making its way there through the waters there. Some gorgeous weather coming in now. Hopefully some showers are on the horizon to help contain the wildfires that are still burning there. Once again, we do know the latest on the fire containment. The Lahaina fire is 85% contained. Over 2,100 acres there have burned. The Kula Fire that already destroyed 19 homes is 60% contained. So firefighters could use all the help they can get there. Let's go ahead and send things over to Guy Hoggy for a look at your forecast.
Aloha. On this Monday, we are tracking more cyclonic activity as we head deeper into the hurricane season. Right now, we're tracking Greg. It is a tropical storm expected to pass to our south. As it weakens, it might increase those wind speeds sometime around Wednesday, Thursday, but we're not expecting very strong winds, nothing like what happened with Dora. Now, behind it, we have Hurricane Fernanda. This system is expected to pass to the north of us. Maybe it could bring us some rain. By the time it gets into our neighborhood, expected to be down to a tropical depression. So neither system at this point do not serve as severe weather threats, but they might bring some changes. We'll keep you posted. You can see this morning there's not much in the way of rainfall. We're not expecting much rain anytime soon. If anything, we'll get a few windward and Mocha showers. Trade winds are on the decline for now, but they will have steady trade winds for the rest of the week. So this we're looking at for a Monday. Lots of sunshine expected. If we're lucky, we'll get a few showers this morning, but really they won't be widespread or heavy. And with all the sunshine, high temperatures running to 89 degrees, those trade winds will help to keep humidity levels from going too high. And as far as the surf, a small boost is expected into the country today at 2 to 4 feet, and that fun-sized south swell is finally showing some decline at about 2 to 4 feet. So the weather's not going to change in any significant way anytime soon. We've got lots of sunshine on tap, but as the remnants of Fernanda pass by to the south of us, Tropical Storm Greg passed by to the south, we could see a slight increase in the trade winds. They shouldn't be all that strong, and the weather's going to remain rather dry going into the weekend.
While we are keeping a close eye on all the happenings out of Maui, we also want to turn now to some other news around Hawaii. A murder investigation is underway after police said a man allegedly killed his own brother. It happened late Saturday evening on University Avenue, not far from King Street. Police say two brothers got into an argument that then turned physical. The victim is said to be a 48-year-old man. The suspect is a 51-year-old male. He is in police custody. Authorities say the investigation is ongoing, including whether a weapon was used or not.
Honolulu police are investigating after a deadly hit-and-run on North Nimitz Highway last night. It happened at around 9:10 p.m. near the H1 freeway westbound ramp in the Kalihi area. HPD said the driver hit a pedestrian who was attempting to cross the freeway. The motorist fled the scene and has yet to be identified. Honolulu EMS treated the man, who is said to be a man in his 40s. He was later pronounced dead at the scene. Police say speed appears to be a factor in the crash, but it's unknown if drugs or alcohol are contributing factors. This is the 35th traffic fatality on Oahu this year, compared to 29 the same time last year. Anyone with information is asked to call police. Two men were taken to a trauma center after they got into an argument that turned physical in Waikiki. According to police, they had, quote, stabbing-type wounds, and both sustained serious injuries from the fight. The men were both in their 30s. It happened near a condo complex at 417 Kane Kapolei Street at around 10:30 last night. It's unclear what led up to the argument.
Now to a possible drowning on Hawaii Island. Police have identified the victim as 72-year-old Joanne Butler of Boise, Idaho. Officials said on Friday, just before 6 p.m., officers responded to a report of a female swimmer face down and unresponsive in shallow waters at Makaiva Beach off Kaniku Place. Upon arrival, officers found bystanders performing CPR on the woman, and care was then transferred to medics. She was taken to the hospital, where she was later pronounced dead. Police have initiated a coroner's inquiry investigation and have ordered an autopsy done to determine the exact cause of death.
And on Kauai, buses will soon halt service on Sundays. The county announced it's suspending Sunday service temporarily as of August 27th. A staffing shortage is to blame. Kauai Bus currently has 8 vacant driver positions and is looking for interested applicants.
And we want to go ahead and remind you now of what is coming up later today on your Hawaii News Now digital platforms. Governor Josh Green will be holding a news conference that is happening around 3:30 p.m. That press conference will be on air and online, so we will be streaming it on Facebook, our mobile app as well. But earlier in the 2 o'clock hour, we're also working to get the latest details out of a news conference with Lieutenant Governor Sylvia Luke. She will be talking about their latest plans for donations, accepting them, distributing them. So that's happening around 2 o'clock. You can find the latest on our HNN digital platforms for that.
Mahalo for watching This Is Now. Of course, we're going to bring you any updates as we get them on air and online. Stay tuned and stay safe.
Aloha.